For building energy metering, basically what we're going to be doing is an agreement between us and lead. And what is the agreement? We say, you give us the prerequisite for this one. And then what we're going to be doing is in the next following 5 years, we're going to be reporting to USPG, the not just the electrical consumption, but the natural gas, chilled water, steam, fuel, propane, biomass, etc. So we're going to be providing with those readings for 5 years, and we're going to be capturing the data at least one per month. Way better if we're doing with a BAS system, but if not, even by hand, you're going to need to write down that, and then you're going to need to provide the information for USPG. Basically, that is the scope. Uh, we are saying that we're going to be using less energy, that we're going to be uh, using energy efficiency measurements for my building. So if I'm saying that, I'm going to need to prove it. And the only way is by providing the data to it, right? So there is not too much to say about it. Let's continue with the next part, which is refrigerants. For the refrigerant part, I will be straightforward. Lead is asking them for two things. One of those is you can't use CFC or HFC as a refrigerants, which stands for chlorofluorocarbons or hydrofluorocarbons. That's it. And the second rule is if you are reusing equipments, you're gonna need to reuse the refrigerant. Simple like that. But you can't use the HFC or CFC. And even though if you are using those type of equipment, better you reuse the refrigerant. However, you're gonna need to think on how to phase out those refrigerants in the future when you're gonna be upgrading your equipment. And there is one exception to the rule, and is if you have small fridges or air conditioners or heat pumps, if those equipments have less than half a pound of refrigerant, you can get a pass on those equipments. Basically, that is what lead is asking us. However, it is simple to understand if you understand what is the story behind. I'm going to tell you what is the story. So but the beginning of this story of the refrigerants by 1920, they discovered, I would say, the best refrigerant in the world, which is the ammonia. And the ammonia was just perfect because ammonia, even for today's day, it's gonna give you the lower temperature with less amount of energy. You can check, you can do the math, and as a refrigerant, it has the best qualities. What is the problem? Is that the ammonia can kill you if you breathe ammonia. Best case scenario, uh, your health will be diminished. Worst case scenario, you're gonna be dead, right? So that's for the ammonia. But then they discovered that maybe, well, something bad had to happen, so they were able to discover it. And then they say, you know what, ammonia is really bad. Once we have a leak, uh, bad things are happening to the people who work in the factory, right? So by 1980 and 1928, someone very smart, I don't remember the name, that person said or discovered something named freon. And freon is a refrigerant which is based, the main ingredient, yeah, I would say ingredient, is chloro. Chloro is, uh, it has very good qualities as a refrigerant. It was stable, it was inflammable, not toxic, and I would say it were just beautiful. Then by the 50s or 60s last century, different industries were using that refrigerant, even for deodorant, for air conditioners, refrigerators, big applications, small applications. So it went spread all over the world. But by the 70s, someone discovered that one just one atom of chlorine were able to damage around 100,000 molecules of ozone, and the ozone is what defend our planet from UV. So something really bad, right? If we were continue using the CFC just as we were using it before, I don't know if we would have the same planet in those conditions. I doubt that. So, well, thanks to those engineers that allocated problems, and now we are not suffering as bad as we would be suffering if that wouldn't be discovered. Okay, so that was discovered, and then someone said, you know what, we're gonna change from CFC, and then now we're gonna use something named HFC, hydrofluorocarbons. But what happened is that, all right, HFC doesn't destroy the ozone. But what happened with the HFC is they are 1,000 times worse than CO2 as a greenhouse emission. So what happened is heating our planet more and more. So those two refrigerants are very good for application, but pretty bad for the planet. Then just a few years ago in 2016, uh, someone said, you know what? We are damaging our planet because of those two refrigerants, and something needs to be done. And basically, we need to prohibit the use of those refrigerants. So, because in 2016, an amendment was made in the Montreal Protocol, that's the reason why we are not using today those refrigerants all around the world. And because lead comply with the Montreal Protocol, so lead is just basically saying the same thing if we want to certify our building. So those are the reason on why we are not using those type of refrigerants, and why uh, we are phasing out to a new era. Thank you.